Hello, guys. How are you? I hope you're fine and welcome to your first class for elementary one. Today, we are going to review there is and there are. We checked this information last class, but some of you didn't come to the class, okay? So we will see it today as a review. Let me show you this presentation. Okay, all right. So this is review. Review means repaso. So you already know about this. Let's just check it again because there were some absences. Hubo algunas faltas. Okay. So in your student book, you can check on page 53. Check the grammar there. And there is another explanation at the end of the book. So check page 144. The topic is there is and there are. Okay, it means hay. Both of them is hay. Hay un perro, hay una casa, hay 5 niños, hay contaminación. That hay in Spanish. Okay. Now, first you have to identify if the noun is countable or no or not. Okay, noun means sustantivo, the object, the thing. Countables are easy. For example, cars, houses, chairs, like this. You cannot see it, but I am sitting on a chair. People, we can count humans, people, students, tomatoes or tomatoes, as the book pronounces, etc. For example, singular, there is one tomato. You can count one, you're counting, okay? With one, you're counting. One car, one house, one chair, one person, one student, and one tomato. So there is one tomato. Hay un tomate. In the case of plural, you can use or you have to use there are. It's also translated as I. There is and there are is I. But because of grammar, we use there are with plural. In our classroom, there are 14 students, okay? There are 3 houses, there are many chairs, there are a lot of chairs, etc., okay? Now, we are going to take a look at uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are a little bit more abstract, okay? They are more abstract. It could be feelings like love, like hate. It's emotions. We don't count emotions, okay? So it could be. Now, let's see some example. Rice. We don't count rice. Air. We don't count air. Bread, as in pan, usually in English is uncountable or always. Meat, carne, it's also uncountable. Water is uncountable. This one also in Spanish, contamination. We don't say, or pollution, contamination, they are synonyms. We don't say, hay dos contaminaciones, hay 3 contaminaciones. It sounds bad, okay? So also in English, it's uncountable, okay? It's always singular. So we don't have plurals with uncountable. So you can say, there's some fresh air in this room. There is a lot of space in the classroom, for example, okay? There's a lot of space. A lot means like much. There is much, there is many, but because of grammar, we have to use a lot of, okay? Now, let's see the difference of some and any. So some is in blue and any is in red, okay? We use some when we are talking about affirmative. So we say, there are some big houses in my neighborhood, okay? This is British and this is American, okay? So there are some houses in my neighborhood, okay? Let's see the correction. Doesn't have correction, so it's correct. So neighborhood, okay? Now, when we use the negative, we usually transform some to any, and the translation changes as well. Cambiamos some por any y también la traducción cambia. I will translate in a while. En un momento traduzco. So there isn't any child in the class. In our classroom, there are 0 children. There are no children. Okay, another way is there are no children in our class. Okay, so that is the same. Okay, there isn't any child. There are 0 children. There are no children. All of them mean the same. Finally, interrogative. Are there any desks in the classroom? In the case of there is and there are, when it becomes a question, you have to make an inversion. Is there one tomato? The answer is yes, there is. No, there aren't. Okay. So what is the question for this? Tell me, what's the question? It should be, okay. Are there 14 students in class? Okay. What are the answers? Yes. What else? Okay. Yes, there are. Or no, there aren't. Okay. So you can make it negative as well. And finally, if you want to say, I mean, this is affirmative, hay un tomate. This is negative, no hay un tomate. Okay. There are 14 students, hay 14 estudiantes. No hay 14 estudiantes. Okay, so that will be the translation. So returning to this, let's see the final translation. Vamos a checar la traducción final. So you've got, there are some big houses in my neighborhood. Here, some means hay algunas casas grandes en mi vecindario o en mi colonia. In this case, there isn't any child in the class. No hay ningún, and in this case, any is ningún niño en la clase. Okay, all of them are the same. And finally, are there any desks in the classroom? Hay algunos o simplemente hay escritorios en el salón. Yes, there's one. Sí, hay uno, el del profesor. Okay. Now, guys, we are going to do an activity. I'm going to expose myself. Me voy a balconear. So I'm going to show you a few things in my bedroom. Les muestro unas cosas en mi habitación. And you will tell me, or I will ask you some questions, okay? So let me change this. Stop share. Okay, so let's get started. Sorry for the disorder. Forgive me. Perdón por el desorden. Now, so here we have, okay, it's not very clear. Sorry, it's stuck. All right. Let's start with this. Doesn't look that clear. What do you call this? Maybe you can see it this way around. What do we call these things? Okay. All right, they are video games, okay? So if I ask you guys, how many video games are there? What is your answer? All right. I mean, maybe you cannot count the video games. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's too much, right? So we can use the expression, there are a lot of video games. Maybe there are many video games, but it's informal. There are many video games, es informal. So there are a lot of video games is the best. Hay muchos, there are a lot of video games. So let me put them away. Goodbye. Now this one, let's see. What do we call this? What are these? What is that? Okay. All right, they are CDs, okay? So what is the sentence? Hay algunos CDs. How do you say that in English? All righty. There are some CDs. And if you want to count it, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 CDs on the table. Okay, so let's say goodbye to the CDs. All righty. Now this, okay, your name, X-Men Apocalypse, Showdown Fun is a French movie, and Jack, okay, from Walt Disney. So what are these? You can call them movies, maybe you can call it Blu-rays or DVDs. So it's the same. What is the sentence? ¿Cuál es la oración? 1, 2, 3. All righty. So there are some movies. There are 4 movies. Okay. Una negativa. No hay muchas películas. There aren't many movies. It's also possible. Okay. Now, here, what do we call this? Okay, what are these? Righty. So we have books, right? So how many books are there? Yeah, there are 3 books. There are some books. Or if we change it only 2, there are a few books. Unos pocos, a few. Alrighty. So it's also possible. Let's leave them here. Now, other things that I've got. So I'm gonna show you a few of them. Let's see if you can see them. All right, I will try not to move. So what can you see on the table? Just tell me phrases. All righty, so I hope you have said at least 1 or 2 phrases. So if I ask you guys, how many big controllers are there? How many big controllers are there? All right, there are 4, okay? There are 4 controllers. I mean, big ones, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you consider these ones too, you can say that there are a lot of controllers, but there are 4 big controllers. How many small controllers are there? 2. Okay, so there are 2 small controllers. Now, how many toys are there? ¿Cuántos juguetes? How many toys are there? There are a lot of toys, no? So we have some pigs or some piggies. There are 3 pigs. There is 1 princess. There's a Pokemon, and there's a Yoshi. Okay, so there are like a lot, I think, a lot of toys. What are these? What do we call this? Okay, keys now. So there are some keys. What do we call this? You can call it memory stick or flash drives. So there are some memory sticks. There are a few memory sticks. There are 2 sticks. Memory sticks, all right. These ones, what do you call? Here you can see it. Here. All righty. As not visible. And this, okay? You can say, there are 2 cell phones, or there's a music player or an iPod. There's a cell phone over here, okay? What is this? Do you remember the name? What do we call this? Okay, this. Okay, this is a wallet, okay? So the phrase is, there is 1 wallet on a table. This, another thing from Pokemon, what do we call this? Okay, there's a Pokeball. Okay, so there is 1 Pokeball here. Now I will show you another section over here. Sorry, because there's a mess. So what is that black thing that you can see? Let me see. This is a controller. I think you can see it's very black. Okay, let's turn it on. Alrighty, so what is that? Okay, it's a TV, alrighty. There's a big TV over there. What are these 2 things? Okay, there are 2 controllers. What color are they? Yeah, so there's 1 blue controller and there's 1 black controller. Now, and over there, there's a video game console, another toy. Don't know if you can see it. More controllers, it's very dark. There is another video game. And there, I hate this part. Well, this is a Furby. You know, Furby is very old. There are a lot of cables. I hate those cables, okay? And finally, let's see over there, my closet, okay? Some of my, what can you see? So there are, what can you see there? There are some shirts. You can say there are some shirts. Over there, these are, I mean, what do you call all of those things? You cannot see them, but there are some boxes or there are some toys. Okay, they are more toys, more consoles, more video games and stuff. And I think that's enough for this section. Okay. So as you can see, my room is a little bit messy. Está un poquito revuelto, but I will clean it these days off. Okay. Now we can talk about the things that I don't have in my bedroom. So as you can see, there's not a lot of space. Okay. No hay mucho espacio. There's not any space. No hay nada de espacio. There is no air conditioning or air conditioner. No hay aire acondicionado. There isn't any air conditioning. Okay, but what do we call that? There is one what? A fan. Okay, so there is a fan. There is a white fan. Now, there's not much organization. No hay mucha organización. There's not much organization. There is not much decoration. No hay mucha decoración, or it's not very modern. Okay, it's not very modern. No es muy moderno. And finally, there's no, maybe there's not much fresh air. Okay, I have two big windows, but I also have some curtains, so cortinas, so there is not much fresh air. Okay, so I hope it has been useful for you. You could get to know me a little bit better. También me conocieron un poquito más, and I hope you have enjoyed. And it has been practical to you. And I also hope you have practiced, okay? Espero que hayan practicado. Set the sentences. So see you on the next video, guys. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.